means, and the angel tells her the opposite of what she wants to hear. Go back. Go back to Sarai and submit to her authority. The first thing misguided pastors will tell a woman to go back to her abusive husband because marriage is sacred and because women are supposed to submit to their husbands. Ugh. Just so you know, if you ever come to me to tell me you're leaving your abusive spouse, I will never tell you to stay. I do believe marriage is a holy thing, but abuse is not. And submission goes both ways. So the idea that the angel would tell her to go back seemed wrong, but I have to give God the benefit of the doubt. Hagar really didn't stand much of a chance in the wilderness. She had water, but no food. She was pregnant, and we've already talked about how difficult that was in the best of circumstances during that time. But at least she knew she would have food, and when the time came, a midwife to help with the childbirth, and that her son would be the son of the head of the community. So Hagar did go back. She did have a son. He was named Ishmael, which means God hears. Now, there are a couple of amazing things about this story that maybe you don't realize. After all, this enslaved depicts oppression in three familiar forms: nationality, class, and sex. Hagar is an outsider. She is a foreigner, she is enslaved, and she is a woman, all things against her. That's not one of the amazing things. What's amazing is, despite all of that being true, she has agency, she has power. She names her son. You notice Abram named him Ishmael. How did he know to name him that unless Hagar told him to? Hagar also names God. She gives God the name One Who Sees. She is the only person in the Bible who gives God a name. I find that amazing. As Hereder says in her reflection for Tuesday of this week, as the first human discovered, places that feel like the wilderness can suddenly become much more manageable, much easier to navigate when we give names to the creatures we encounter there. Names allow us to praise and to challenge. They define relationships and orient us in unfamiliar places. In naming God as the God who sees, Hagar is acknowledging that God has seen her, but she's also challenging God to see her circumstances, the abuse, the exploitation, her enslavement. What will the God who sees her do about these things? As you may remember, Hagar's story does not end here. When Abraham and Sarah do eventually have a son, Isaac, another problem arises when Sarah sees Ishmael as a threat to her son's inheritance. This banishes Hagar and Ishmael to the wilderness. When all seems lost, God sees them again and reveals a water source. Hagar and Ishmael make a home in the wilderness where he grows to be a man. And to hear more of this story, you'll have to come join us on Thursday at 11:30 for the spiritual formation group who are reading the book together. Or you can get the book and read it yourself. This nameless enslaved Egyptian woman names her son, names God, is abused after she becomes pregnant, and is discarded along with her son by the father and mother of those who become the Hebrew nation. God chooses flawed people. God sees those who are not seen by the rest of humanity. We are all flawed people. I don't say that to excuse our flaws. Perhaps God chooses us to see those that most people do not see, those who are mostly unseen. Perhaps God chooses us to go into the wilderness where the unseen often find themselves. Perhaps God chooses us with all our flaws to go into the wilderness to help the unseen to be seen, and to help the least of these to find their way through the wilderness to a place where they are seen, and if they desire it, a place that can be called home. Will you pray with me? O one who sees us despite our flaws, we are grateful you can use us. Help us to see those who are enslaved by fear, who are abused, who are exploited. Help us to find a way to be in solidarity with them and to help them to find a way through the wilderness. How does Hagar's story inspire you? How does she help you to see the wilderness in a new way? How does she help you to see God in a new way? What will you do or be because of her story? Jan Richardson wrote this poem called Blessing that inspired me as I thought about Hagar's story. Listen as I read it. Let us be the ones who will not turn away. Let us be the ones who will go farther into the wreck and deeper into the rubble. Let us be the beyond belief and despair beyond our imagining. And there, let us listen for the spirit that brooded over the formless darkness. And there, let us look again for the God who gathered up the chaos and began to create. Let us be the ones who will give ourselves to the work of making again and to the endless beginning of creation. Let's sing together our hymn for the journey, number 642, Abide with Me.
Abide with me, fast falls the eventide. The darkness deepens, Lord, with me abide. When other helpers fall and comforts flee, help of the helpless, oh, abide with me. Swift to its close ebbs out life's little day. Earth's joys grow dim, its glories pass away. Change and decay in all around I see. O thou who changest not, abide with me. I fear no foe, with thee at hand to bless. Ills have no weight and tears no bitterness. Where is death's sting? My guide and stay can be. I triumph still if thou abide with me. Hold thou thy cross before my closing line through the gloom and point me to the skies. with me.
Morning, everybody. How are you guys doing? So, Mummer talked about it last week of our current offering for the America for Christ offering. Of course, we've got our little folders just hanging out in front of you if you want to give anything. Today, I know in the bulletins there is an insert with some of the stories from previous work done with the offering if you want to read about those. But I thought I would go a little bit more in detail what the offering does. The offering is specifically for America and Puerto Rico. It is done all to help more close to home. Specifically, the money goes towards funding grants that are provided by the American Baptist Home Mission Society. And these grants are towards church leaders, aiding children who are impoverished, supporting the work of chaplains and other spiritual caregivers, promoting discipleship, working to preserve critical American Baptist spaces, so more towards, church upkeep specifically, as well as making higher education more affordable through scholarships. Another good thing to know about this specific offering is that it allows churches like us to apply for grants for assistance, as well as all of the money that is raised with this offering is not retained by the American Baptist Home Mission Society. It's all used. And go ahead and please join me in prayer. God of provision, God of abundance, we have gathered what gifts we could here in the wilderness. In the midst of uncertainty, it is tempting to hold as much as we can, to keep all for ourselves because we do not know where our wandering will lead or how long it might last. So we give our gifts in fear and in faith, trusting that there is going to be enough for all. Honor our fear, honor our faith, honor our trust. Honor these gifts, O God, and use them for your love. This is the word of the Lord speaking to us. Thanks be to God.
Will you stand as we sing number 678, We Are an Offering. We lift our voices, we lift our hands, we lift our lives up to you. We are an offering. Lord, use our voices. Lord, use our hands. Lord, use our lives. They are yours. We are an offering. All that we have, all that we are, all that we hope to be, we give to you. We give to you. We lift our voices, we lift our hands, we lift our lives up to you. We are an offering, we are an offering.
Sorry. God promises to be with us, but we are conditioned to relying on ourselves. Prone to wander in the wilderness of self-reliance, we find ourselves lost. So let us confess our sin, knowing God is faithful to lead us to the path of forgiveness. Will you pray with me our prayer of confession? For the violence we enact and the violence we allow, God have mercy. For the ways we limit the freedom of others, God have mercy. For our failure to fully live out the freedom you give us, God have mercy. In the moments we run away, God have mercy. In the moments we settle in, God have mercy. When we cannot bear to watch others suffer, God have mercy. Wherever you wander, know that God makes a way in the wilderness. The Holy One guides us, feeds us, and forgives us. Amen.
All right, will you join me one last time with 385, Where the Spirit of the Lord is? Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is peace. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is love. There is comfort in life's darkest hour. There is light and life. There is help and power in the Spirit of the Lord. Thank you. And now bear with me because I left all of my notes down there. Well, as Robin has already said, I've been hard at work this week to revamp our text system. We have moved from 3 going to be live streaming to Facebook campaigns as we figure out balance. And evidently, when you schedule a broadcast on YouTube, that does not mean when you select to start broadcasting that it immediately does. You have to hit go live in addition to that. So some of that was stuff that I could not have done without messing up our live stream for this morning, so I did not do yesterday. But this will be a better home for the life of the church virtually in the long run. For our opportunities for connection and stewardship, we do have the book club coming up on March 26th. We have Lisa C's novel, Lady Tan's Circle of Women. Really gorgeous cover art from the announcement slides before service today. We have also updated Bethel's directory, and so if you would like a copy of that, you can reach out to Kate. We are having our Easter breakfast and worship service coming up on the 20th of April. That will be 9 to 10 a.m. in the fellowship hall. And we have, I believe, already started our Lenten spiritual Thursdays at 11:30 during this Lenten season. The last thing that I need to bring up is the For Columbia. If you sign up, start today and go through April 13th. There are shirts that you can get. You can register and help out with that endeavor. Rose certainly knows more. This will be in the bulletin in future weeks, but you can go to forcolumbia.com/volunteer to find more information there, or there are pamphlets that I think are in the back of the sanctuary. On
I think that's everything that I have for this morning. Thank you all for being here, and I will pass back off to Robin.
In the wilderness of the coming week, may your wells all be full. May your life be free. May your love be fierce. Let's ponder all we've seen and heard today as Annie plays, "Come Thou Fount." Amen. Go in peace to love and serve the Lord. Thanks be to God. Amen.